What are some of your memories of your matches with Bret and Jim Neidhart?
They're great. I loved working with Jimmy. Was funny. Jimmy was as stiff as a rock. Especially get in that corner, hit with those forearms. Oh man, here they come. But I enjoyed a lot of fun.
What about you? Did you like working with those guys?
Yeah, I love working with them. And Bret is more of a...
He's an executioner.
He's
good at execution.
Yeah, he's one of the best.
Great.
Yeah,
I think he's one of the 5 best there is.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Also, you had some good matches with Bret Hart.
Oh, Bret was like I say, he's one of the 5 best wrestlers I consider.
Yeah.
I consider Bret, I consider Arn Anderson, Ric Flair. I consider those 3 of the top 5 that are incredible. Ric Flair, incredible. But to go out with Bret, here's a guy that can do anything. This was a saying we had in WWF. If you couldn't have a good match with Bret, you sucked. You should never be in the business. Because he could carry you. Arn Anderson was the same way. But Bret was the excellence of execution.
Right.
That was a great saying for Bret. The guy could wrestle, and he could do anything, and he could work with anybody. It didn't matter if you're big, small, didn't matter. Bret could work with you. He was great.
What about Hogan? What was he like in and out of the ring?
I like Hulkster. Hulkster's incredible in the ring. He probably has the most charisma there ever has been in wrestling. Him, maybe The Rock that's come along now and that stuff. But he personified. Hulkster came along at a time when they'd never seen a big man that could actually sell. And here you got a guy that looked away the tan, the blonde hair, the California look, the big buff body and that stuff. And also here you got a guy that sells. People never see it. People see the big guy just standing and nothing happened to him. And also people are just like, wow, they just get with this guy, And outside the ring, Hulkster's a great guy. I've seen him in public. I was on the sets of Thunder in Paradise. All those trams go by. Hulkster would stop, wave to them all, right in the middle of sets and that stuff. He'd just wave, say hi to anybody want an autograph, he would sign for him. Hulkster was always very good that way.
Did you get along with him, Barbarian? Or?
Yes. He's a good man. You talk to him, he's down to earth, You have no problem with him. Down to earth, he talked to us, and he's a good man, very smart.
Who was the locker room leader around this period? Was there a locker room leader, or was there a lot of cliques and stuff?
No, there's no locker room.
There was no cliques. Not like the NWA. NWA had many more cliques.
Right.
Really, WWE, everybody was pretty much on their own. You had a couple of them, and they went to hang on together,
What about Hogan? Did he change at all when he went to WCW from when you guys knew him in WWF? Well, when you were there, was he the same Hogan, or did he change?
Well, the only change in my eye, he was a bad guy.
Right.
In the WWF, and you always know him as a good guy. Now he come to WCW as well, and NWO.
Right.
Black, that's a big change.
Yeah, but Hogan, he remained the same kind of person though, because he was the top dog at WWF. He was the top dog at WCW.
Level-headed.
He never changed. He's always straightforward and very nice. Very nice all the time.
What are your memories of working with Ultimate Warrior?
I never worked him.
You never got a chance. Did you ever work him?
I never got a chance with Ultimate
Never
Warrior.
got a chance.
I wish I would have liked to work with Jim. That would have been great.
What was he like outside the ring? A lot of guys say he was, a little out there.
Jim was a little out there. Jim, he was to himself a lot. But he
always came and said hello.
But Jim and me always got along. In fact, I still talk to him on email and all that stuff. I talk to where I just talked to him about a year ago and that stuff on email and that.
Right.
We talked for a while on email and that, and I've always got along great with him. I went to Germany with him before for a while and that stuff. And, worked with him the whole time. It was great.
What about Andre the Giant? What are your memories of Andre?
Andre's the biggest man I've ever seen.
Huge.
So I remember the first time.
He didn't take no shit from anybody.
He got mad at you that one time. We went to Italy.
Yeah.
Here's my partner. Everybody, make sure your passport isn't expired. Everybody, make sure your passport isn't expired. We get over to Italy.
I know.
What's the thing? Barb is expired by 2 months. Andre's like, Barb's in the back of the bus hiding under the seat and that stuff, because Andre's one of the men you didn't want to make mad.
Right.
He was like, Vince was the boss. He was like the next boss. He was like the next man there and that stuff. When you go to shake Andre's hand, as big as my hand might be, his was like 3. He was like a baseball glove going around your hand. But Andre was a very, very nice man, and
he loved me.
Yeah, he was a very nice man.
Did you guys ever witness any of his legendary drinking nights and stuff like that?
Never really did. The biggest thing he ever had, as I'm sure everybody heard, is that he would go to the locker room and play cards, and he would drink bottles of wine. And the biggest thing I remember about that is when Ultimate Warrior had to work with him.
Huh.
And Ultimate Warrior was very, very nervous. As big as Andre was and that stuff. So, It's the first time I've ever seen Ultimate Warrior ever get to the building early and actually buy a ton of wine and sit down and play cards with Andre up until his match.
That's awesome.
To keep Andre happy.
Right.
Because if he didn't keep him happy, Andre would kill him. I've never seen Ultimate Warrior ever play cards or do any of that because he was in the back trying to do push-ups, doing this and that. And that's the first time, and he did it the entire time he worked with Andre.
What about Chris Walker when he came into the company for a little bit?
Chris was great too. Chris was new. But you know what? Chris was a
Which one?
great
Which
body.
one? The
The one you liked.
I like.
Yeah, you liked. He was scared to room with you.
Oh, no.
We always had a rib about Barb. Whatever you do, if Barb ever has a room by himself, don't ever stay with Barb. Okay? Because Barb will go in his room. All right? This is Barb. And Barb's great. You go to,
yeah,
if you didn't know Barb, Barb goes to the room. Okay? First of all, he'll go to the room. He'll sit down. He'll get his spit cup, right?
Right.
All right. He'll sit down. He always sits in his underwear, and he'll just stare at you, spitting. And Chris, everybody heard about it. Chris was nervous because everything was sold out, and Barb's the only one that had an extra bed in his room. Chris would not room with him. Would not room in his room. He was so nervous.
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels too. They were nervous.
He never came to the shower with me.
But Chris was a good worker.
Right.
He could work.
Yeah. Looks
The
good.
kid could work. Yeah, he looked great. And he could work too.
What happened?
I really don't know what happened with Chris and that stuff. I really don't know why Vince let him go because the kid was a good upcoming kid in that stuff. I mean, he could have done a lot with him. You know, if it was me, I would have put a goddamn like a jungle outfit on the way he was built.
Yep.
That would have been great for him, and it would have gone over.
Yeah.
It would have.
Also, they teamed you, I guess, with Fatu as a head shrinker tag team. What are your memories of working with Fatu?
Yeah, it's 1 year deal with Fatu. He was Fatu back then. Yeah, it was good. You know, different style.
Right.
From our style, different style. You know, lots of high. You know, top rope, and yeah. It
You
was
also-
good little run.
You also worked with Bret too, I think, right? Did you?
Yeah, single.
Good matches.
Good matches. Oh, I love work Bret. And most of our matches we go about like 25 minutes. Yeah, I want to keep him long, so
Yeah.
you know, I
That
really
was
enjoy
great.
working him. Yeah, it was good, great.
What about Ricky the Dragon Steamboat? You both wrestled him on house shows.
Yes, how so? Yeah. To me, he was. What do you call?
He's another one of the top five
This
performers.
this guy can
Yep.
make fire.
Yep.
When he make a comeback.
That's
yeah?
right.
Oh,
Yep.
he got some fire. I mean, you know, in my eyes, Steamboat is one of the.
Ricky was a
comeback.
problem because he's a guy that could also, if you had to do a 45-minute match, he could go out there 45 minutes and not even break a sweat, that guy.
And he can sell. He
yeah.
make the people believe.
Yeah,
He's
Ricky was great. He had a great look to him.
Yeah.
And like I say, he had that charisma to make that big comeback.
Yeah, I'll put him in the top 10. The babyface Steamboat,
Yeah.
one of them. Bret Hart.
Who were your favorite opponents in WWF to work with?
Love working well. Burn me, you know, it was as a tag,
As a
Rockers.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the Rockers was the
Rockers,
best to work
yeah.
with. We had a great match with Rockers.
Rockers.
Demolition was excellent because they tagged up with us real good. As far as singles, it would have been Davey Boy and Bret.
Right.
Yeah, as far as single is Bret, Steamboat.
Is there anybody you didn't like to work with at all in WWF? That you're like, oh, this just ain't working.
Not really in that stuff, you know. I mean, you know, you'd have your runs with somebody and then you go off to something else. Pretty much everybody had to come to WWF. Had to be something or somebody somewhere that was, you know, to make it there.
Right.
You know, just, you know, there's a few times that some of the styles don't go together and that stuff, you know, it just happens. But, you know, there wasn't anybody I really didn't like working with. I mean, I enjoyed wrestling back then.
Was there a lot of politics involved in that company? Compared
Always politics.
Right.
Always.
Yeah,
But,
always.
you know, I understand it's all about business, too. It's all about making the money.
Did you have to get involved at all in this?
No, no.
What led you guys to leaving WWF?
Just at the time, you know, you've been there a long time. You kind of worked out of everything. You know, you worked with a lot of the top guys for a while. And back then, you worked with top guys so long and that was it. Whereas now, you know, they got guys that'll keep working top guy. They go down here, top guy. Keep changing all the time. Back then, you go so long and that's it. And it's just basic time to take off.
Was it your idea to leave, or was your contract up, or?
It was kind of both.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of both.
Did you guys leave together at the same time, or?
Barb went a little bit before I did.
Okay.
And then Barb went back afterwards for a little while again.
Right. Did WCW ever attempt to put you guys back together as a tag team when you left?
Yeah, they did. They tried to put us under the hoods.
Yeah, remember what's the name?
These super assassins, right?
Yeah.
Super
it,
sensitive.
it was funny. We went to the ring and the people said,
Everybody-
come on, come on, Bob,
Yeah.
take it
Yeah.
out. We already
Yeah.
we know it's you.
Everybody knew it was us anyway.
Yeah, they know it was us.